what do you think about psychiatric damage as injury? The story is that the guys dumping dumpsters right beside my apartment complex were doing it outside of their time that was specified in the code. And there's like civil penalties for $2,000 for these occurrences. I wanted to find out what you think about pursuing, an injury claim against a dumping company that broke the code.
First of all, like I said, you're probably not going to be able to go after the company, but you're only going to be able to go after the actual man who's doing it himself, and because then you're going to find out that his company has told him repeatedly not to do such an act, or they're going to say, well, this was the first time we've been made aware of this. If they were smart, they'd say this is the first time we've been made aware of this situation. They can bring it out to our attention, and we'll stop it immediately. So like I said, until you actually let the other side aware, that it's called, like in legalese, it's called cease and desist. Until you make them aware that they're doing something wrong, they're not liable. But I know what you're saying, they're out of the code. So you can say, but like I said, the actual monetary damages are going to be $1. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like I said, you've got to show them that because of what they're doing, it's interfering with your ability to. You do not have any idea how hard it's going to be to show them that it's interference with your ability to perform.
I did a little bit of research on it, and they said they could your performance at work can be evidence of it, and even your relationship, like if you have problems getting busy with your lady in bed because you lost so much sleep.
Yeah. That's exactly what I said. There's two things to think of off the top of my head, right? Performance in bed and.
So I did make them aware. I called them and left a notice with their call center. As an actual notice, it was a written notice. And then then it happened more, and I called back in again and I was put on red alert or something like that. And then it happened again, and I took pictures of it all. So I was just trying to see if there's anything there, because I did give them notice. They were aware. I talked to the manager lady who was in charge of the routes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The only other thing that you could do is that two things you could do is you have like a city prosecutor. I mean, what kind of city you live in?
Dallas, Texas, baby.
And you got a city manager, I guarantee it, and he's above everybody. I don't know if you know what a city manager is, do you?
Yeah, I sure do.
Well, why don't you tell these fine folks who are listening just what the hell the city manager is?
Well, the city manager, he's the boss of the corporate arm of this city. He's like, what is he? He's the head of the city council, isn't he?
He's the head of every damn thing. I don't care if you got a man McCheese of Dallas. I'm telling you, the city manager is in charge of every damn thing. But you've got to be in an incorporated city, and it's got to be big. You're not going to find a city. You're not going to find a city manager in a little town of Lexington, Virginia, where I live. But I guarantee you, Lexington, Kentucky's got one.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. I think I even know who the guy it is. So what would be the course of action after that?
You have to go there. If it's a city sanitation department, that works even better. But if it's not, if it's a private contract, you have to. Like me, when I had a problem like that, you actually got to. I loved it, man. I just walked right up to the city manager's office. His door was open. I just walked in. I think it was hysterical. I just sat down and started talking to him. I said, "Yeah, I believe you're the city manager." Yeah, well, I got a few things to discuss with you. And he was like, "But I wore a nice suit and tie," and he thought I was like somebody who worked for him. I was just like, "Oh, you're just like somebody off the street." It's like, "Yep." But what I'm saying, he was like, "How did you know I even exist? How did you even know what a city manager is?" Because they don't explain this to nobody.
Well, because I've been interested in when I first started looking into law, it was because of all the crazy things government does, and I was like, how do they get their power? Oh, they got their power from the Senate, and the Senate is a court. Oh, Senate's a court. What is a court? How do these courts work? Oh, every city has a court. Oh shit, every state has a court. Okay, I need to really know how this court thing works, and so I started looking in and seeing that the city council runs the corporate side of Dallas, and the public works work for them. And I really I was thinking about pursuing a claim, because that's what got me on the claim road, was I was so mad at these guys for waking me up and all the time. Right. But I just trying to see how possible that was.
Well, like I said, the reason why I'd go after the city manager is because he's the McCheese guy. He's the top guy up there. So, like I said, he can't possibly say that you didn't make him aware, and then that way you go after the big dollars. Because honestly, all you go after is the guy who makes $10 an hour. You're not going to get much.
What if I got this supervisor who failed to train and discipline her subordinates?
Well, he makes $12 an hour. So, like, you see what I'm saying? You go in a little guy.
Yeah. Still after the man. I can't touch the corporation. I would only be able to go after the man.
Right. You can always go after the man. Right. So like
okay, I was thinking,
if you want to go into the corporation, you have to go at them as a corporation, and you're going to reduce your status, and you have to be a plaintiff, and you have to play by their civil procedure rules.
Yeah, and that means knowing all of Dallas's local rules for court and knowing their code and all that bull crap.
If you go after a second dimension entity, you have to. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, you got to get
that movie.
Right, but that's exactly what it's about. You know, if you got good credit and if you're a good risk, the second dimension will actually let you participate in the second dimension world. If you don't have good credit with them, if you're not a good, honorable person, the second dimension isn't going to let you play.
Yeah, I got problems with the second dimension right now. My driver's license. The thing is, I'm.
Dude, it's not your driver's license.
Well,
it's not yours.
Another kid.
You didn't create it. Dude, you didn't create it.
Oh yes, sir. I understand that part.
Right. Good. You're not the creator, so it's not yours. You're just bearing the burden.
Yeah, if I don't bear their license though, other people are less likely to contract with me. So the last thing I want to ask.
Are you a commercial driver?
Well, I need to operate motor vehicles in order to photograph.
You need to get behind the wheel of your property and take it from point A to point B, right?
No, not my property in this case. Not my property. I would go to someone else's dealership and get in their property and photo their property.
That's the game you chose to play. So that's what's required. If you want to fly a plane, you need to get a pilot license.
Exactly. So if I don't agree with the traffic court, because the traffic court moved and I never appeared in the court, I never had anything to do with the court. They just deemed that I owed these fines. So now I would address the Secretary of State and try to just negotiate some kind of equitable settlement.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say. Anytime you get a fine, penalty, anything from Department of Motor Vehicles, say, I love it. Well, how much you got won't we pay? 10 gazillion, 327 billion, 800. You've got it. Put it in form of a bill, sign it, and I'll pay the damn debt.
And that's addressed to the Secretary of State, not the municipal court?
No, the court doesn't. The court's not coming after you. It's the Department of Motor Vehicles of the state. When you go to traffic court, what I'm saying? It's like the state or the city, coming after you.
Yeah, but the DMV said that it was the court that said I owe these fines. So what's going on there?
Who's the court? Who's the plaintiff? Who's the moving party? Who's the petitioner? Who's the one saying you've done something wrong?
Yeah, it would be the DMV or going to the city court to petition against me.
When I get a ticket here in the Commonwealth, they say it's the state of Virginia versus Karl Lentz. If you get a city ticket, I could get a ticket from the city. I could get a ticket from the county department. I could get a ticket from the state. So who's the one who's saying the state? Okay, so they're saying the state. Just tell them, look, put it in the form of writing, sign it, and tender me the bill. I'll accept it. Just tell me who's going to be the brave one who's going to put their hand, and who's going to put their hand, paper, just paper, pen to ink, and say this is how much you owe. It'll never happen.
I need a signature, right?
Just sign it. Just say this is how much you owe.
Needs to be verified.
Tell the judge for it and sign it. Say, he orders me to pay. He's going to say, I don't order you to pay. Well, then who's ordering me to pay? I did that in child support, case in Alabama. First they steal my freaking kid, and then they got the effing balls to tell me I owe them something. I think you've got to be kidding me. So I just said to the judge lady, it was funny. She was like, your son must appear in court today because we've seen years have gone by and you haven't paid anything. You owe like $1 gazillion. It's like, really? And who do I owe it to? To the state of Alabama. So where's the state of Alabama? And she pointed over to the prosecutor's table. I said, you state of Alabama? And he said, yes. I said, is that your first name, last name? How should I address you? And he said, what? It's like, you're the state of Alabama. I asked a simple question. I said, judge right there said, I owe the state of Alabama. Where's the state of Alabama? He said, now you're gonna put it in a form of writing, state of Alabama. Your mama named you a funny name. Just put it in a form of writing. And tell I'm just waiting for the bill. Give me an itemized statement of the bill and a billing of the particulars every week, every month, every year that I owe it. Just sign it and just say it's true, and I'll be more than glad to pay the bill.
And so that's what I write to the state.
The judge lady, exploded. She says, if you don't pay this bill, if you don't pay what you owe, you're going to jail. I said, I think you're communicating a threat. You're giving legal advice on the bench, and what you're doing is extortion, Mrs. Gambino. You're going to break my legs, too, when you put me in a cage? She's like, well, you just better pay it. I said, is that legal advice? I said, you my attorney? You acting on my benefit on my behalf? She said, well, you just better pay it. I said, ma'am, I want to pay it. I would love to pay it. I asked you a simple question. Who do I owe the money to? State of Alabama. You pointed over there. Did you not hear me say State of Alabama? Put it in a form of writing. Put it in a bill. Give me an anonymous statement bill and sign the damn thing, and I'll tender the payment immediately. I said, what part of that didn't you hear, Judge? I want to pay. I'm waiting for the freaking bill. Yeah. What's the problem, ma'am? And she's like, next case. The lady behind me owed $300. I was like tens of thousands. The lady behind me said, the judge said, why haven't you paid your child support, like $300? She said, well, whatever he just said. And the judge said, give her a pair of silver bracelets and get her out of here. For $300, I had tens of thousands, and the lady behind me was like, well, whatever he just said. You know, whatever he just said, I like what he said. You know, because he's walking out. I want to, and the judge realized, no, it's not that easy, sweetie. We know what he's going to do to us. You ain't going to do nothing to us. See, so it's a big difference. It just, the lady behind me just said exactly what I said. The judge would have been like, wow, how many people are figuring this out? Or is this lady behind him bluffing? Does she really know what this guy just said in front? Because of what the guy just said in front, man, he did, you know, perfect. He didn't say he wouldn't pay. He said he wants to pay. He's just waiting for the form of the bill. He's like, I've just been waiting for a bill. I don't got to pay out a debt until I get the bill. And I got to know that it's a true bill. I got to know that this bill is true, and somebody will swear before it in open court that every damn thing on this bill is true. And I will be more than glad to submit myself to the bill. Give me the bill.